everybody. Welcome back to Adobe Live. You have me, your host, Jessica Moon. I'm a UX lead at ServiceNow, and the wonderfully talented Kevin Lee.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How's it going?
I am doing great. I'm so excited for day two.
Day two. Da-da.
And I'm back. I'm ready, and let's get this thing going.
Awesome. Yeah. So for those of you guys who didn't join us yesterday or are tuning in for the first time, so we yesterday did some work that Kevin's going to talk to you about around a social influencer mobile app, and one that works for brands and for the influencers themselves. And today we're going to be doing a little bit more wireframing, a little bit more designing there, showing off some cool stuff, right?
Yep.
And then tomorrow we'll be wrapping all that up with some final designs and prototyping and putting it all together. And so if you didn't watch already, this morning we had a segment with Paul and James who were working on a succulent, I think the app was called Making It Less Suck Succulent app of some sort. I think that the work, I think it's a working title.
Yep.
And also just for now we had Alex and Sarah working on a very, very cool website. And today we're gonna do Kevin and this social media app.
Yeah.
Awesome. Stay tuned. So if you're with us now, in about 30 minutes, we will be doing a quick giveaway in the chat. All you have to do is stay around and say something in chat, and you will get a free prize that we'll announce a little bit later today. And actually related to prizes, we're also going to do a little something special for you guys who are watching.
Prizes.
Kevin needs a little help, and so we're going to talk about a little bit of branding love, but we would love in a bit to get some ideas around some logos for Kevin's app. And so we've got some lovely socks that we'll be tantalizing folks with in a bit. And so if you can help us out throughout this segment, then that would be great.
Yes.
And for the next hour and a little bit over and a half, we're also running our daily challenge. So today's submission, the theme is going to be specifically around being able to make a 3-screen experience of a smartwatch that is around time travel. So if you're in the chat right now, go ahead and click on that schedule, and you'll see that there is a challenge there where you need to use the alumni icon set, and I can just show you guys real quick what that looks like on my screen. So you can actually download this icon set and use these guys right here, beautifully made, creative mints. They're all, I know, aren't they amazing?
They're so detailed.
Yep.
I'm like, oh.
And so you can get these from the chat. So if you go right here, you'll be able to go to that link to get Adobe XD. If you don't have it, it's for free. You can definitely utilize it right now. And then this link will give you a direct download to the icon set itself. And what we'd like you guys to do is create a smartwatch. And just quick 2-second demo in case you want to use a template. You know, you can go into XD right now, and if you are looking at the artboards right here, there are 2 Apple smartwatch templates already pre-made for the 42mm and the 38, and you just click on one of those guys and everything there is available for you, including grid layouts and what have you.
That's so nice they like set it up for you like that. That's so cool.
So if you're on and you want to win a free subscription, 1-year subscription to Creative Cloud, go ahead and make that 3-screen experience around time travel using that icon set, and we'll review them at the end of the show. So with that, Kevin, why don't you catch us up on what you've been up to and what you're going to work on today?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll reintroduce myself if you didn't see the first episode. I'm Kevin Lee, and I'm a UX UI designer and graphic designer. I also do photography on the side, and it's kind of like similar to like what I want this project to be, which is a social networking tool for brands and influencers. So it's a social networking tool where brands can either message influencers, or influencers can message brands to like collaborate together. So what are we doing? So yesterday we talked about user interviews, the pain points, and empathizing with the user. We did a competitive analysis which showed the strengths and weaknesses of each app that's already kind of similar to what we're doing. And we basically concluded like, okay, we'll take the best features out of these apps and put it in our app. And then we concluded everything, had a brief summary of what we found out, and worked on low fidelity wireframes, which is the search feature and filter system that solved the brand's pain point, which is basically to have a faster way to search influencers because they knew it was like a manual like labor to do that. Today we will be continuing on the low fidelity wireframes, but we'll be focusing on the user profiles in the brand's perspective, influencer perspective. We'll do a fave feature on the app, a collab feature where you can message them, message each other, a login sign up page and onboarding pages. And maybe if we have time, we'll do finally color, pictures, and maybe find a logo that you guys make. We'll see. So submit your admissions. So basically concluding our research from yesterday, the problem, a lot of manual work, process takes a long time to search for specific influencers.
And so Kevin, if I can just say for a second, I've got a couple people here like Thor and Laura who mentioned that they're, what is the name of this app? So right now, Kevin's gonna go through a little bit in case you missed it, the problem and the story and kind of what the purpose of this app is. So we'd love some help, just throw out some names of logos as you think of what this app can be called. We'll just vote on that real quickly. And then from there, you guys go to town and make that logo.
Yeah, I'm super excited to what you guys like come up with because this is like a collaborating effort right now.
Yep, so the minute you think of one, just put it in chat and we'll start documenting which ones are which and we'll have a conversation about what we should name this thing. Brandster, already.
Nice, Laura. Yeah, so going back, problem that we identified, a lot of work, process to find influencers specifically and that have a good engagement rate. Influencers, finding brands in general, so it's kind of like coinciding together. So the solutions, we developed a search system and a filter system for both perspectives. And with that being said, I am going to show you guys the onboarding pages and login pages that I've already been working on. So I want to show the user flow basically for a brand perspective and an influencer perspective. So right now we did our B2I, brand to influencer. So this is our brand perspective that's trying to find an influencer. We have our login sign up page right here, and I'll even open this up for you guys to see better. And it shows the logo, email, password, login, sign up, forgot password, all your generic stuff on your login page. So let's say I'm a brand and I want to, be a part of this app. I am going to click sign up, and then this page will show up, and then you either click I am a brand, I'm an influencer. So you'll click I am a brand. And the sign up page would show up that, thank you for having an interest in our company. Please put down your company name, website, all your information, contact information, and submit an application. So brands would have to apply to be in this app because we don't want like those spam companies that, they're not legit and they're like, we don't want any drama with our network, which is like brand to influencer, and then they don't send a product to them, or like, we want these to be legit companies.
Yep.
So once they submit it, they'll basically get this screen. Oh, that check mark's supposed to be bigger. Anyways, it's like success, thanks for applying, we'll contact you soon. Once they get an email saying they're confirmed, they'll get a temporary password and log in with that temporary password with the email. And they'll finally get started, enter a new password, set up their profile, and upload a photo about the company. And for the onboarding pages, after they finish that, they'll get kind of like an introduction towards the app. So this would feature the discover feature. And this is something that you'll see the feed, the ones that we made yesterday, basically, showing all the influencers and stuff. So they would click the button and they have like a progress feed to see like, it like grows every time. And then the fave feature, which is they'll favorite an influencer if they like them. Collab, so that's like the messaging system. And then ID, which is like their identification profile.
Super simple.
Super clean,
Awesome.
super simple.
Love
done.
it.
And then when they click done, it'll have them be able to go to the app.
All right.
Yeah, and then same with influencer perspective. They'll click I am influencer, create an account, put all their information. And this is kind of interesting. They'll insert their niche. So what type of influencer are they? And they'll have a ranking system to it. So let's say I'm mostly beauty, but I also like entertainment. So when they click these 3 out of all the listed niches, the one that's in gold will be their like main like personal brand theme, like, and then the other ones would be like side things about what they like to do. So she loves beauty, like that's her main thing, but she also likes entertainment and something else. She'll also set up a profile and about me, click done, and then get the same onboarding pages.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, looks like you got a lot done in between the last show and today.
Yeah.
So very cool flow. And I definitely agree that it looks amazing. And I've also been tracking what people have been putting down for logo names so far. I've got Brandster, Connectorama, Connector, Influant, and Pro Tag. So, you know, keep putting a couple in there. Are any of them like resonating with you, Kevin?
Oh my god, I like Connector and Brandster.
Brandster.
So Tim and Laura, huh?
All right, yeah. So keep throwing them out there.
Oh my gosh.
And then while we're doing that, I think that you mentioned you wanted to maybe go into some of the wireframes.
Yeah. So basically, what we'll continue on is the user profiles and showcasing like each perspective of it.
Okay.
But while I'm doing that, did you want to show like new features of the app and stuff like that?
Yeah, so you know, as you guys know, this week we've had a couple of really great updates for XD, and so you know, while I'm gonna show you a couple quick things, feel free to keep throwing in logo names in the chat, and then we'll go back and take a look at that and run a little mini contest there once we have a nice logo going there. So, and I see Brandstorm is great.
Ooh.
Also, we are tuning in here in San Diego, San Francisco. We live in San Diego, but we're here in San Francisco on PST, so it's 1 o'clock here, 1:12 here. So if you're tuning in, you know, anywhere in the world, let us know where you're at. Let us know what time it is. So brand me, great. Connect. I will keep going with this and write them down as we go. So looking back at my screen, we'll take a look at some of the latest features. So if you're wondering ever what to do, I usually just Google Adobe XD what's new, and the first result's going to take you to this page, or go ahead and go to the site and you'll see in the what's new features. So this week we have stroke enhancements, which is very exciting. I'll demo a couple of those in a bit. Asset renaming, which is huge if you are a person who wants to organize and make a lot of really big scale projects, for sure. And then comments on design specs. So for those of you guys who work with developers especially, and you're using the design specs feature to hand off a lot of that work, the design specs is really awesome, and you know, your developers might have questions, right? Like, what is that button doing there? Are we really sure that that thing's supposed to be a small check mark, right?
Oh my gosh.
And
I know.
So, you know,
calling me out, Jessica.
Well, so, you know, that's a great chance for the dev to get your link and to say, wait a second. And so that commenting feature is really handy there. And then, of course, a little bit before this month, we had a couple of things around overlay supports, which is really exciting. So let me show a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then also, you know, in case you're wondering, there's a great resource out there which we'll post for you. But you know, there are a lot of great Adobe XD kits that the creative community makes, including the icon set that you guys who are doing the contest will be using. And so, you know, from this one right here, which is this beautiful Mentor Me UI kit, you can go through this and click these links.
That's Dansky.
And I'll show you, yeah, right?
What we were talking about yesterday.
Yep, totally.
Oh.
And so I'll just briefly kind of show you what those XD files look like in case you're just watching the stream.
Awesome.
But I highly encourage you to go in, click these links, get these downloads, because there is some talented stuff in there. So Alumni set, which is the Illumi set, sorry, which is the one that we're going to be using for the challenge today. Restaurant icons, which is really, really cool. Awesome. And then an animal icon set. So, really quickly, I'll just kind of show you guys where some of those things look like. So starting with the first one, this is a pretty neat set. You know, it's got a lot of great colors in the left side asset panel, which is really neat. Typography here, obviously listening and bookings. Everything here is editable. It's just really awesome stuff. Beautiful set, by the way. Ooh. You know, one thing I love about these UI kits is that you can really learn. I know in the last session that we had with Adobe Live with Alex and Sarah that there was some question around being self-taught, right? You know, if you are interested in learning more about UX and UI, like these kits are actually really great for learning. I mean, you just have to basically reverse engineer and say like, how is this person making that effect? What is that thing looking like?
Love that.
And you start to really dig into these UI kits and see what the masters are doing. And it's pretty awesome. So, not only are they great for reusing these components, but now you can kind of almost like look into the way that creative person thinks and then really kind of adjust your workflow and make some cool new techniques just through all that.
Oh my God.
Pretty cool. So
just
that's
seeing her like playing around with it, like I'm getting goosebumps. So,
yeah, and so that's the first UI kit. This one of the other ones down the line, and keep putting your names in terms of logos. So as you guys know, this is a really beautiful kit as well. In here, we also have them all symboled up for black and gray. And so if you're wondering, symbols are reusable components. They're really awesome. You use one, you decide that you want to use it again. And anytime that you want to make a change to the original symbol, not that I would want to do that because this is beautiful, but let's just say that I wanted to make it red, it changes all of the instances of that symbol across all the artboards. So really cool kit here. Beautiful kind of Art Deco sort of style. Absolutely love it.
Stunning.
And I don't know if you knew this, Kevin, but you can actually take a symbol from one file and copy it over, and it will retain that symbol in the next file over you have. So, this is my random one that I was using to start documenting all of the great names that people are sending in the chat. But, you can actually, you'll see right here on the left column that if you go in, that you'll see that there is the awards symbol there. So, as you make symbols, you can kind of see that cross, and it's really, really easy, just saving a lot of time.
Nice.
The other icon set that we've got, it is an icon set, is this beautiful animal set. So take a look at these really awesome geometric shapes.
Oh my God,
absolutely love the
cute.
style. Yep, so beautiful. And you can use these and then edit them as you see fit. Just great stuff. Oh my God, that bunny is so cute. And that dog, oh wow, I love that dog, it's adorable. Beautiful geometric set. And then of course, we've also got our restaurant theme. Everybody's gotta have a food app, right?
Oh,
so
for sure.
Very cute, very awesome, negative white space there. Negative looks. And then from here finally is the fashion editorial layout, which is also, can you believe it, like a kit that you can use, and it's amazing. Editorial, it's got typography, it has, styles of imagery, it's got, all sorts of shenanigans, beautiful layouts, great use of the actual layout column format, which is really, really great. Yes, I know. Yep, Liliana, love them, and Val, they're so beautiful, aren't they? So. And Raquel asks if there's any way to export assets in XD. So 100% yes, very easy to do so. So actually, let me go ahead and pop in and show one of those recent kits that I opened. By the way, Open Recent is really awesome. I kind of want to do something, let me see if I can actually show this off. This is a micro interaction. I'm going to nerd out for 2 seconds, guys. If you have, for example, files in multiple locations, and you decide that you want to use it elsewhere, so let's say that there's one in my downloads and in my desktop, I believe. Let me just see if I can make this magic work, because when I saw it, I was like mind blown. Yep, okay, cool. So I don't know if you saw that. Watch this in the recap because it's such a fun micro interaction replay and I'm totally geeking out. But if you have a file and it has the same name, but it's in 2 different locations on your desktop experience, and you're reusing that, or you're gonna find that file, we don't really take the time to rename that much and we just forget. And so we're like, oh crap, which file is it? It's the same name. But actually even here, I love this interaction, it's just my favorite. Because of the fact that it's the same file, but I put them in 2 different locations, you can even remember just where exactly that is on your computer. Which is like, who would think of that on the team to actually do that? Wow. But it's like super great for creatives who have their files everywhere like me, which is awesome. Okay, so to answer your question, Raquel, so you can absolutely export things 100%. So there's a couple ways to export. So let's say that you have this artboard here and you want to actually export just the icon itself, just that, right? You can actually go ahead and go to File, Export, and you have an option to do selected, batches, unselected, because I haven't selected multiple symbols there. But I'm gonna do this one, it's just also Command E, and you can actually see here that you can go ahead and name it. And here's the cool thing, right? If you are really organized, you'll notice that this symbol right here on the left is named hot drinks, right? And so it actually remembers down here that it's a symbol that's named hot drinks, and when you export it, right? You can actually see that it saves as whatever you name that symbol, which is really huge down the line if you work in a huge dev team and there's an organization and a kind of file structure to how you name those things, which is awesome. And so I can do that, and then you can actually export for design, web, iOS, Android. You can do multiple levels based off of what you pick. You can actually select the type of export you want. Wow. And in terms of formats, you can do anything from PNGs to SVGs to PDFs to JPEG, so on and so forth. So all great stuff. And you know, if you want to just do them all and do like a batch, then of course you could just as easily, let me actually just lock this cute little dot layer. So you can go in here and then hit File and export a specific, all of these selected, and then go from there. You get all of them on your desktop. So I'll make a new folder just to show icon export demo, and then create, and let's just say you want them all to be SVGs, let's say, you know, and then you hit export, and then da-da-da-da, icon export, and bam. You have all of your SVGs already exported and easily transferable to your dev team.
So organized.
It's really, really cool.
God.
So there's a lot of great export features, super easy to use. Highly recommend you give it a try. And for those of you, again, for Chat to Win, Chat and Win, all you need to do is in about 10 minutes, just speak up in chat, say something fun, and one of you guys are going to be able to get an awesome prize, which I will briefly showcase.
What is it?
It is a, I think it's a moleskin, maybe, I don't know, it feels very leathery. Ooh. It's a beautiful notebook that has XD blind embossed into it. And I don't know if you can really see it in detail, but it's a notebook and very classy, very vintage, very beautiful.
I want that.
It has so nice stitching in the back. La.
Oh my God.
Yes, Alejandra, very pretty indeed. I know, I want it. So, very cool. Awesome. So we'll be giving that away in a few minutes, and so stay tuned for the Chat and Win. All right. So Kevin, I don't know if you want to show a little bit of what you've been working on as I've been chatting away.
So basically, yeah, I'm creating a profile for a brand. Mm-hmm. So this is when an influencer finds a brand's profile.
Okay.
They'll see like the photo of the brand, and I will actually insert a photo just so like it's not super bland and just like a grayscale.
Okay.
So let's see. I'm looking through my photos panel, and say I want to use this picture. Mm-hmm. So I would just drop it like that. But then you notice that you can't really see the text, right?
Right.
So what my favorite thing to do is make another box on top of it. Mm-hmm. And go like this, send everything to the back. Oops. What is happening? Send to the back.
Okay.
Oh wait. There. So the photo is behind the white box. I'm gonna change this box to be black, and with that, I'm gonna probably like just lower the opacity a little bit.
Nice.
And you can finally like see
super legible.
Legible.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, text. So,
very beautiful.
Yeah. So I did that, and then that's the company's name, and then what type of brand they are, and then this is a favorite icon and a messaging icon if you want to like collaborate with them, and a little like about section of like what the company is, and the campaigns that they're doing right now to like hire influencers. So I wanted to show an option where there's an ongoing campaign at the moment, and a campaign that has been already filled up. So like every time a campaign is filled up, it'll say, sorry, this campaign is full, sad face, just to let the influencers know that you can't talk about this campaign anymore. And
Adriano in chat's asking, Kevin, where'd you get that iPhone X kind of template and mask?
Yeah, so I said this on the last episode, but it's actually from a YouTuber who does, you know, UX, UI like teaching. His name is Dansky, and he basically has a template for the iPhone X, so it's easier to like design for it.
And hello, Heiner from Germany. Awesome. Cool. All right, well, I've got a list of logo names. Why don't we think of a couple and then give these guys a little bit of time to make a quick logo for this app.
Okay.
The ones I have, and if I missed you and what you said, just chime back in and I'll try to get you. But we've got Brandster, We have Connectorama. We have Connector without the E. We have Influant. We have Protag, Brandstorm, Brand Me. We have Connect with a K.
Okay.
Brand Flare, and I just saw from Anmol, Brandillo. So, chime in and chat if you like any of those real quick. Kevin, what do you think?
Ooh, I'm like, there's so many and I love all of them.
Bridge or Rama is another one that Mike, our winner from yesterday's challenge, definitely
oh my goodness. Yeah, I like all of them.
Boost Us. Is that it?
Boost
All right, some people like Connector.
Connector. Yeah, what do you guys think? Connector?
Yep. Connector's nice. I don't know, I kind of like Brand Flare. That's kind of fun. Yep, that one's kind of, I like that.
Brand Flare.
Fluencia. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Fluencia. Ooh,
I like
Raquel.
the feel of that from Raquel. That's beautiful.
Yeah, you know what? I think I gotta do Fluencia.
Anywhere to see all the names.
So
well,
cool.
I am quickly typing them, so I can actually see if I could just type these through chat real quick.
Alex Connector.
And bam. So there they all are. Whoa, magical. So Brandfluence, what do you think? There's a lot of people who like Connector.
Yeah, Mark says plus one for Raquel
winning.
too.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. And thanks for the feedback, Rodney, in terms of the fact that you think that those top left and right corners maybe need a little bit more sharp corners, something for Kevin to think about.
Yeah.
And if you guys have thoughts around how to make this wire, evolve, then feel free to chime in.
Yeah, please let me know.
All right.
Okay,
well,
so
what
a
do
lot
you
of
think?
people are saying Fluencia or Connector.
Okay.
You know what?
Yeah.
We might do...
What feels right? What? If you close your eyes, what does this app feel like?
I kind of like Fluencia.
Fluencia?
Yeah, it just like rolls down the tongue like.
And that was Raquel, right?
Yeah,
All right,
Raquel.
Thank you, Raquel, for that name. So,
I like that a lot.
So that's gonna be the name of this app. It's gonna be called Fluencia.
Fluencia.
And so we're gonna do a chat and win in a couple minutes, but after that, go ahead and just whip something up and send it to the link that we'll be posting in the channel. Submit there the logo that you have, and we'll take a look at it. And the winner of that logo will get these wonderful socks.
They are XD socks.
Premium electric pink XD socks. If you are a big sock person, they are very, very stretchy and unisex and exciting and fun. And we'll ship them to you.
Awesome, yeah.
Cool. All right. So let's see.
So basically, I'm still continuing on the profile.
Okay.
And we're going to really just go more in depth with the campaigns later, and if they click a certain campaign, what will pop up on it. But right now, what other features I want for the brand's profile is their Instagram feed. So the influencers can get a look and feel of what the brand is.
Okay.
Yeah, so right now, I'm gonna try to hide this.
And yes, Dan, you can wear it on your wedding. If you want to wear XD socks on your wedding,
awesome.
Please take a picture and let us know
Oh my
and send
gosh,
it. That would be amazing. So, very cool.
That is amazing.
And Val can confirm, I also have a pair of these XD socks. They are very comfy and they are worth making that logo because that logo is going to be what makes Kevin's app today and tomorrow. So
please submit your things, you guys, your logos.
I don't know if this is the final copy or not, but I love the fact that this campaign is full sad faces there. No, it's true. In usability best practices, you really want the text of your apps to really sing and to really resonate from a human level, right? I mean, how many times have you guys used an application where it reads like a computer is talking to a computer? And that human emotion and delight isn't there, right? I mean, influencers are creatives, they're passionate, and the brands really want that. So it's really awesome to see that kind of delightful interaction just at this app level. So I think it's rad.
Yeah.
Adriana, I love that. The XD socks are also responsive. It fits all sizes of feet. Yes, I agree. It's forward-thinking socks there.
Oh my gosh.
All right, cool. Okay, well, the chat and win is right now, so feel free to type ahead and just go and chat. Just sign up, sign into Behance. Just go into the chat right now and say, hey,
type away.
Whatever you want. talk about how much you love wearing socks at, weddings. And the prize today is going to be this lovely moleskin-ish leather thing with that beautiful emboss of XD there, and just look at that stitching. It's amazing.
Look at them.
There's a pocket in there. I'm pretty sure there's a pocket in there.
What?
So it's very so beautiful. Cool. Thin. Yep. So chat now, guys. Just go at it. Just start going for it. Let's see how it goes. Everybody wants socks.
Everyone's like, give me the socks.
What about the moleskin? This is for this. This is for the notebook.
This is for the notebook.
The chat one is for the notebook. If you want the socks, you need the logo. But this is for the lovely moleskin. Or the notebook. I'm going to call it moleskin. It's a notebook.
Who is going to get the... You guys,
all right, so keep
who's
going
the
in
winner?
chat,
Who's gonna get
and
it?
we'll announce the winner in a little bit. But yeah, just keep going for a second too. Awesome. All right, so our winner is Adriano Silva, who had that great thing around the socks being responsive, right? Wasn't that you? Amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You are now the owner of this fine, lovely notepad.
Woo!
Very
Good job.
Cool. Congrats, Adriano. Yes, everyone congratulate. Yes.
Yay.
Awesome.
Congrats.
All right, cool. So let's take it back to you. So let's keep going here.
Yeah, so still on the Instagram feed.
We're still on the Instagram feed.
But yeah, we're going to also put in a recently worked with.
Okay.
I guess, again, with that credibility. Recently worked with. And just put, a bunch of circles to represent each profile that they worked with.
Nice.
So, again, using that repeat grid.
Yep.
Vertically and horizontally.
Yep.
So, oops. This.
Very nice. My favorite tool. I absolutely love this tool to death. And it's such a time saver. Seriously.
It honestly is. Just saves a lot of time for me.
Yep.
Yeah, so there we go. This is our finished profile for a influencer looking at a brand.
Awesome.
And now we're going to focus more on the campaign. So basically this whole app is about, working with brands and what do they want the influencers to post.
Okay.
So I'm going to actually copy and paste this artboard.
All right.
And do brand, rename it to brand campaign page.
And it's, I definitely succumb to this issue where I don't rename my artboards. But if you rename them the way Kevin's doing it, it's gonna pay off. Something that he mentioned on yesterday's stream is when you are actually going to link the different artboards to each other with the different interactions, there's actually a pretty convenient way to be able to drop down and look at what artboard you want to point it to.
Yes.
Naming those artboards is such a saver.
Especially when you're about to prototype.
Yep.
It saves so much time.
And so New asks in chat, hey Kevin, do you know if XD has rulers or if you can create grids? Well,
yeah.
Very cool. Why don't I go ahead and actually show that on my screen for a second?
Okay.
So the answer is yes, New, absolutely. So in XD, if you want to go ahead and with any of the artboards, right, and I'm hitting A, which is your shortcut for artboards, you can see on the right that there are a lot of options between Apple products and Google products and Microsoft products and the web. For those of us who are familiar with the web, you can actually go to this area right here and you'll notice in the grid that there's an option in your property inspector on the right. And if you click on this guy right here, you have layouts, and in layouts, we are default to 12 grid columns with specific widths and everything in between. And so you can actually go ahead and change this. If you want to have it be, an 8 grid column, you can do so. You can change the gutter width, everything. Really awesome. Pro tip, because a lot of people don't know this, is that you can actually adjust even how the columns look. So if you click on this guy right here, you'll see it's at 25%. You can change even the type of guide that you want available. You can change the opacity being really faint. For me, that's kind of something I want to do. And then that way when you're making layouts, and you're designing things, and you've got that grid there. The Adobe XD also has on the same option instead of layout, you can do square. So for those of us who are very much into square grids, you know, we can go on about 4 pixel, 3 pixel, 10 pixel, all the different ones out there. You can go ahead and do the same thing here. You can pick the square size, defaulting to 8, and then you can also even adjust the colors here, how you want to kind of see that for those of us who want different stuff.
Yes.
Awesome.
That is so cool.
And Yanina, we are definitely going to be showing off some interactions and animation in XD, maybe a little bit today, definitely tomorrow, so stay tuned for a little bit later today and tomorrow's stream to kind of see how we stitch a lot of these prototypes together.
Nice. Yeah, so going back to my screen, we are actually working on the campaign pages. So these are the actual like guidelines that they want to give the influencers before they post anything, or if they want to negotiate like maybe like what else can they put in their description or something.
Man, that's really straightforward. I mean, one of the pain points you talked about yesterday, Kevin, was just the fact that like what do we do, like what do we need to do in order to make sure we have a really like rich conversation with these people. We're not wasting anyone's time.
Exactly.
Everything makes sense for that guideline. It's really, really cool. Love it.
Yeah.
All right, so as you can see, Kevin's using the repeat grid. He's also using that lovely check element, and look at that. Different colors there, very cool.
Yes. So basically what I'm doing right now is showing the do's that they want and the don'ts that they want. So a don't would probably be like, oh, don't use profanity in your description when you post a product with us.
Okay.
And a do is like, oh, maybe post a picture with the product like outside of the park, like and like it's just very like good guidelines to like make things really quick. So basically I'm going back to the UI kit and just picking the checks and the X's for the icons here.
Cool.
And if you guys didn't see yesterday's episode, it's cool because as you can see right here on the repeat grid, you can have the icon be in the repeat grid and get rid of something. So like the check mark is the yes, and then the X is the no. So let's say if I want to get rid of the yes.
Oh, that's so clever.
And it's
that's super clever.
Yeah.
I don't think I see a lot of people doing that. So, you know, if you know that your repeatable element has different states in it and different kind of styles, you can go ahead and hide that. That is very smart. I love that. I love that workflow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Awesome. And I'm still doing that. So let's say this is gonna be like, do not post profanity. Okay. Just to show an example. Of like, and then something to do is please post something that matches the fall season with fall colors.
And in the chat, we've got Sismone, I believe, I'm sorry if I messed up your name, saying, do you know if there's a shortcut to quickly show and hide layout? You know, actually, we were talking about this yesterday. I think it's amazing how you find shortcuts and actions through the help. Can you just like quickly demo that? Yeah, so if I want to like ungroup something, like if I want to ungroup this, I'll just do ungroup. Yep. And it ungroups everything. Yeah, so that's a really quick way of finding it. Also, if you go to, and so that's a great way if you want to find any shortcut. You can also Google it online, and there's definitely a list of all the keyboard shortcuts available to look at, specifically around showing and hiding layout. If you go to view, you'll be able to see below that you have show and hide layout grid and a hide square grid, and there's specifically, depending on Windows or Mac, command apostrophe, command shift apostrophe, and so on and so forth to show those. Yeah. Awesome. So what are we making now? We're making a button? Is that what it is? Okay. Just to like say like you understand the guidelines and you would like to chat with the brand about like what the guidelines are and that you're interested in working with them. Okay. So basically this will be like accept. Oops. Oh, it's in white. Just put it here. So accept guidelines. Okay. And chat with brand. Okay. Claude is joining us saying he's shook by that sick design, Kevin. You're shook? Oh, I'm even more shook. Yep, we were learning some new cool words like that. Oh my God. Overnight, yep. So that is an interesting set of words. All right. Yeah, I am more shook than you.
Claude, so. Yeah, so basically this is our finished like campaign.
Okay, cool.
And now we can work on the influencer user page, which is like the same thing. So I copied and pasted it. Let's get rid of Sips by, put in Zina Dichosa, my friend.
Yep.
Who's an influencer.
And this was one of the users that you interviewed, I believe, right? Yesterday?
Yes, for her pain points.
Very cool.
And then we'll grab this and just drop in right here. So it just replaces the photo.
Nice.
And it's cool because like clearly we're not going to show this part of her photo. So we're going to enlarge it if you double click it and then move it down a little bit.
Very beautiful.
And there you go. Showcases her face perfectly.
Okay.
And then maybe it's too dark, so maybe I'll lighten up both of these.
Okay, very
to like
cool.
25. Yeah.
And Kevin, did you know that you can actually take the style of that layer you're just having as that darken, and you can turn it into a global asset that you can reuse over and over and over again?
Can you show us that?
Yeah, so
That's cool.
So if you go ahead and click on that, and then right now you can see there's the asset panel on the left. So some quick updates on the asset panel. So before, if you click on the top right there for the grid, you know, before we had this view where you could see the symbols and you could see the character styles and you could see the colors. And so the way that would work is if, and I think you have a check mark. Can you edit the green that you used for your check mark real quick?
Yeah.
So, and so go to the color that you used. So which one was it? Was it that one?
Yeah.
Okay, right click on it. And if you right click, you can edit it and change the color to whatever you want. So you can kind of just see, whoa, magical colors. But the way that the assets panel works on the left is that it picks up the color that's used in all of your artboards and it changes it globally. And so, you know, that green that you use, that hex that you use, if you edit it and edits for all.
Wow.
Now, with that being said, you can also save styles. So you can save, if you go to that guy right there, that the overlay that you have, that dark color, just click on that and hit the plus button in colors.
In colors.
Yep.
Okay.
And so now what that does is if you right click on that and you go to edit, you'll notice the properties have everywhere from the hex color and everything in between. So actually, let me think. So did you, is it one more layer? Oh, okay. Yeah.
So let's say, you actually have to do it in the fill, right?
Oh, okay.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there, you save this.
Yep, and so you can just make a new style there. And so what that does is if you right click, you have all the opacity settings, you have the color, and actually from here you can even change things like gradients. So if you drop down on the solid color up top and pick it to like a linear gradient, let's just say, because people love doing that like fade photo kind of effect, it actually applies that gradient, and now you can go ahead and if you selected any of those other, the other windows that you have on any of the other screens, totally.
Oh my God.
Disco gradient. So you can have a lot of fun just kind of creating a lot of these things and being able to manipulate on the fly.
And you can switch it? That's so cool.
So,
wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, Adobe does a lot of new stuff. It's awesome. Let me delete this, but I'm going to keep this because this is really handy for style. So I'm going to actually apply this to every one of them and then have this 100%.
Yep.
So do you not change this part whenever you do it?
I don't often. I like to keep my styles, like especially with fills, inside of there, so I can just quickly do that. I use the appearance areas opacity really for if I want like to hide a whole layout, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I try to keep those opacity changes as like variables within the actual fill element. And because later, you know, if you do this in design specs and a developer is looking at that, they can see all of the properties, the alpha that you really want to set for that element that they're coding. So it feels very real for them. They know how to apply it. So it's a really great trick, good scaling technique. Yeah. And just quick side note, you know, if you're quickly changing opacity level, that appearance kind of transparency on the alpha, you can actually use just like for Photoshop and Illustrator, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 0. And that will show you 10% for 1, 20% for 2, you know, 0 will get you 100%, 0, 0 quickly will get you 0%. So if you're in the app right now, you know, working on your own stuff alongside Kevin, I encourage you to give it a try.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Cool. So basically I just kind of put her photo in for her
Okay.
user profile. And it's kind of the same feature basically, but what I'm going to do is if the, what is this?
It is a Renegade button, I think.
Oh no, it's a
Oh no, it's just the screen. Yep.
So this is a brand looking at an influencer's page. So we're
Okay.
going to change this I to B to B to I.
Okay. Our new group, our music group.
And then we're going to do that, change it to influencer user profile.
Okay.
So the brands really care about, again, the filtering system. How many followers does she have?
Makes sense.
What's her engagement rate? So we're going to make that stand out the most in her profile. The first thing they see, kind of. So we'll do like a little feature section right here that showcases how many followers she has on Instagram and what's her engagement rate. Because if you remember one of the pain points, Zena mentioned that a lot of brands don't want to work with her because just of her follower count, but her engagement count was really huge. So she has
So she has super high engagement.
Yeah.
She doesn't post. She posts a lot, and when she posts, people love it. But she doesn't have that like massive group of people who have her on follows. What you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna showcase both, so that way brands, when they look at her profile, they'll be like, oh, you know what? She only has 4.5K, but her engagement rate's like 20%.
Really high, which is really impressive. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, the brands really want those just people to be involved, to be active,
Exactly.
right? I mean, of
Yep.
course, it would be nice to have a lot of people, but that's really, really important as well.
Yeah. So, Zena, this one's for you. So we're putting 4.5K. We're making it bold to like have it stand out because it's a numbers game. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Oh,
let's
and
say-
Ty makes a really good point, right? Which is that some people just buy a lot of followers in this world, and their
Yes.
engagement count's really low. So you know,
Very
you can
true.
have a lot of followers, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're getting that quality experience you want, the engagement
Exactly.
you want. Yeah.
So that's why
Yep.
this app is good because brands can tell like, wait a minute, that person has like 120,000, but like has 2 comments and like, I don't know, like 200 likes. Like
Yep.
that doesn't make sense. So something's up.
Yep. And yes, we are doing a little quick logo competition just for these fabulous socks right here. Just make a quick logo for our new app, which is called Fluencia. And
Yes,
so
I love it
feel
so
free
much.
to send that over, and Tim has the link, and you will win some cool XD socks that we'll give away near the end of the segment.
Yes.
But yeah, Liliana, you're totally right. Highly engaged followers are much more valuable than just having followers as a whole.
Yep.
Yep.
My creative director.
Andrea, only 4.5K, right? Yeah, Andrea, I don't even have anywhere close to 1,000, let alone the numbers that we're talking about. But that's why Kevin
Yeah.
here is a social influencer and has an amazing Instagram following.
Yeah, and I
So-
mean, again, with like the whole influencing thing, the question was asked like, what makes an influencer? Like, how many followers or what engagement? Again, it's just how many people, how much engagement you get. Like, basically, if you have 400 followers and you get like 200, 300 likes, that you're an influencer. You're influencing 200 people to like look at a product that you posted. So.
Yeah, me too, Yanina. Only like 300-ish for me, and of that I get like 10 likes.
Hey, that's still
And like
good.
3 of them are like my family members, and 2 of them are my friends. So I'm like, please like my post. I just posted it.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, it's a whole nother world.
Yep. And yes, Sally, great restaurant icons indeed. Feel free to take a look at those icons, those kits that are available.
Yes.
They're really, really awesome stuff made by some really talented folks. So Yanina asks, what is the best way to get into UI and UX? We talked about this a little
Yeah.
bit yesterday, right?
Yes,
so
we did.
For those of you guys who are just joining us, you know, Kevin, you're kind of newer to this world, and
Yeah.
you have some mentors in your life. I don't know if you want to talk about that again.
Yeah, so when I first started, I was a graphic design major at San Diego State. And they didn't really have a good UX program, but a really good graphic design program. So I was like, oh man, like my sister, she's a UX designer. She's like telling me all these great things about UX, but like, where do I learn more about it except from words from her, like being a mentor? I would do a lot of YouTube videos, watch Dansky, and just self-teach yourself and, you know, look up UX design blogs and just learn about like what's trending right now, because I think right now the biggest like resource for you to learn something new on anything is the internet. And it just helped me a lot. And I even looked up not social networking, but design networking events like Creative Morning, Creative Jam, that has a wide variety of like different types of designers. So UX designers, a bunch of UI designers, and you just have to keep talking to everyone, YouTube videos, find mentors through these networking events, and you're good to go, girl.
Yeah.
I
mean, I'm self-taught too, and I think just it's amazing the number of resources out there nowadays. Obviously Adobe has a lot of these ones that they publish. Creative folks are just like putting them out there for free. You can learn so much just from picking up a UI kit even nowadays, which is awesome. So
there's so many resources online that's like out there for you guys. So.
And so for those of you guys who are just tuning in right now and catching the later segment here, so we're the last up 2 days of 3 in Adobe Live. We have, if you come in at 9 a.m. PT, you'll get to see Paul and James working on a succulent-centric app. From 11 to 1 PT, you'll be able to see Alex and Sarah working on a website. And right now, Kevin is building this beautiful social influencer application. So one more day left after today, so please stick with us as we see everything get stitched together and the interactions be made and watching this design just come to life. So
I know.
Very cool.
Can't believe it's day 2.
It's day 2 and we're halfway through this app. We made 2 experiences, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna miss you guys, but I'm God. It's like a goodbye.
Very cool. So Yanina asks, are there any specific websites for these tutorials or references? And you mentioned Dansky, right?
Dansky,
so big YouTuber. There are a lot of great things out there. A lot of great blogs. If anyone in the chat knows any great resources off the top of their heads that they love, please post it here. Sharing is caring. I'll think of some myself that I love going to as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's so many.
And if you want those socks, in a few minutes, let's just see what kind of logos people have come up with for our application that we're calling
oh my gosh,
Fluencia, which has a very beautiful feel to it. I don't know. It's just I really like it. I think it has a nice kind of aesthetic love to it.
Raquel did so good on that.
All right.
Yeah. So right now I'm showing the niches that they chose, and if you remember in the beginning, on what type of influencer they are. So they ranked it from 1 to 3. So 1 is their main influencer category.
Okay.
And 2 and 3 is kind of I do this on the side.
Okay.
And we're actually going to change this to gray because it's the second one.
And we'll be reviewing the logos in around 10 or so minutes, then we'll just kind of quickly do that, and then from there we'll go on, keep going with this prototype, and then wrap up with the daily challenge today, which again is, a time travel app, but on a smart device. Obviously, this is not a smart device on my hand, but go ahead, go in and make a smart device app, a smart time traveling app, and there is a link in the challenge where you can go access the Illumi icon set, which is this beautiful set created by Creative Mints. So I encourage you to open that up, take a look, utilize it, and make some beautiful stuff happen. Winner of that challenge will be a 1-year subscription to Creative Cloud.
Wow.
Yep. Caroline asks in the chat, I'm moving to San Diego this fall. San Diego.
Oh my gosh. It's so much fun.
It's a beautiful place. Yeah. You'll love it. And I'm a student who is building their first portfolio with little experience. What suggestions do you have on some projects I should include in my first internship?
You know what? One thing that I'm super proud of, and also that got me a job or internship, was something like a personal project.
Okay.
And it coincided with one of my branding classes that I had.
Yep.
And I actually made an app for the LGBTQ community in San Diego. And it was something personal to me and also something that's UX related. So I'm like, okay, I can put these two together. And finding something that's like personable to you and doing an interview about it makes you more credible
Oh,
and
absolutely.
also like, I don't know, just like passionate about something.
Yep.
And then the interview person will like definitely see that the way that you present it. And I think that's the #1 thing you should do.
I mean, that's really amazing advice, Kevin. I mean, I think, you know, Caroline, a lot of times companies aren't just looking at your portfolio, they're looking at if you're a cultural fit.
Yep.
And anything you can do to show that you have passion and that you care about stuff beyond just the UX work itself and being able to bring that in, like that's really going to leave an impression. And it is amazing advice, solid advice that I would highly recommend as well, for sure.
It's all about being personal.
Yep, and excited trying to make interesting app redesigns and gaming UI. We have some
Ooh.
gaming fans in the room here at the studio,
Yes.
and anime fans. So maybe if you show it on Behance some point, we'll get some good praise there for that. Awesome.
Cool. Yeah. So I just finished the
sweet
user profiles and campaigns page.
Okay.
So basically, this is showcasing when an influencer looks at a brand page and their campaign page, and a brand looking at an influencer page.
Okay.
And now what I'm basically doing is still working on the profiles, but this is when a brand is looking at their own page.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if I'm Sips, then I will be looking at my own page, making sure I know what influencers are seeing through their eyes. Okay.
So basically, you're not gonna like yourself. So I'm getting rid of that. You're not gonna message yourself.
You can't like yourself? Damn.
I know. You have to hate yourself. No, I was kidding.
No, that's really smart. So those interactions won't be there. Yep.
Yeah, and the whole concept of campaigns is for them to post a campaign, right?
Okay.
So this is basically showing like, hey, we want influencers now for this type of campaign. So I put a plus sign to like post a campaign. And another feature I'm going to do is like a settings where they can edit their about, their image. So that's all going to be in there, but
okay, a more icon there.
yeah.
Awesome.
So nothing really else changes except I'm going to actually add something kind of easy to use. So let's see, let's grab this.
And I mean, this is where a lot of people, from what you've mentioned in your research, is where they're going to spend the majority of the time, right?
Oh,
You know,
totally.
people are going to be looking at these profiles and they're going to be really evaluating if they want to build this relationship and start this engagement with this person, right?
Yep, exactly.
Cool.
So right now what I'm doing is, since an brand is looking at their own page and they're seeing like their campaigns, it can be easily deleted by like just clicking this button.
Yep.
If it's like full.
Okay, so it's just in case they have too many. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm just adding. It's all like the little details that really count.
Agreed.
So like having that, and then also having an edit section. So wait, let me put this here.
And Kevin's just copy pasting that and making that a repeatable element.
And then this will be white.
Just out of curiosity, Kevin, is that the same burgundy that you were using in your actual assets panel there on the left?
Yeah, so I actually just clicked it.
Okay.
So what I did was I copied this,
Okay.
made it smaller,
Uh-huh.
so it was white, and then I just changed the color from here.
Okay, very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, and you know, it's fun. It's one of my favorite things around the asset panel, right? Like, so we're used to making symbols where we make an object and then it's kind of like its own special thing and you use it repetitively, right? But with Adobe XD, the way the colors work, it's very cool. It's you know, as long as you have that instance of that color around any of the artboards, you don't have to worry about constantly linking it to those symbols. You have that red hex that you want to use from the start, and you know, if you could just do me a quick favor here, since to make a point, if you edit that red on the assets, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then change it to some random color. We'll do some disco again. You know, it's gonna know every single element that has that hex value on it, making it really easy. You don't have to plan for that. It's just gonna be a part of that experience, which is very, very, very cool. So.
Yeah.
And if you like to name colors, you can actually name them now. You can name a lot of the assets in the left-hand panel. And so let's say you decide you're gonna use, you know, red or something as your primary color. you can actually start to name things like primary something, primary button, primary color, and then you search primary, and you always find those assets that are linked to that sort of dominant color.
Yes.
So Caroline asked, do you guys use Color CC to get asset colors? So in here, we're just staying straight in the tool, Caroline, and just kind of keeping it local for sure. And Laura, I am also very excited to see the the logos come in. I've just been taking a peek here and there. Still a couple more minutes, and then we'll take a look at those logos and pick a winner. Free XD socks. They are very cozy. You can wear them to your wedding, as some people have already described. They're very responsive. They adapt to any feet around, and they're here for you. So, Yanina asks, are you using Gill Sans? What are we using for typography, Kevin?
We are using Avenir, and I said, I'm like, does that make me basic? But you know what? I like Avenir.
Does that make me basic?
I like Avenir.
Avenir is a classic font.
Yeah.
It is one of my favorites.
You know, I used to like enjoy Helvetica.
Yeah.
This is such a like design talk right now, and I love it. But
I was Helvetica one time.
But now I'm Avenir.
Now Avenir. I think James is Proxima Nova camp. I'm pretty sure I saw him walk in. He's given a little, so we got some in the Proxima Nova family. We've got some Avenir junkies. I have to say my favorite font, honestly, is, if we're going to talk sans serifs, is Futura.
Ooh,
Classic
Futura's
font,
really good.
very classy, beautiful font. Every time I see it in a movie trailer, my heart I'm just like, oh, Futura, it's beautiful. Montserrat, absolutely beautiful font.
Yeah, or Franklin Gothic.
Franklin Gothic is very nice. Yep. What is everyone's favorite font, by the way?
Oh yeah, tell us your favorite font.
It is a hard, and maybe it'll influence Kevin's Avenir. I don't know if it's a good enough one. Avenir stands the test of time.
I know. I'm just like, which font would look good? And I think Avenir is a good choice, but Comic Sans, Laura. Oh my gosh. Does XD even offer that? Oh, they do.
XD offer it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. No, it's a great font. It takes a lot, but it's actually a great one as well. George is nice too. Proxima Nova says Ivan.
Ooh, I like that. The first time I heard about Comic Sans was when I made a Neopets page.
Oh my goodness, Neopets.
Yep.
Wow.
And
totally
I thought that was the coolest font ever. And like my profile, I made my profile, like laid everything out. And Comic Sans was like the main text for it.
We got some grotesque, beautiful fonts out there. Yep. Avenir is love from Anmol. Yep. Agreed, Shay. Yeah, every feature does make me think of Wes Anderson films. It does.
Ooh,
it does.
It does.
In a good way, though, I think. You know, there's definitely a great vibe to that. Accidents Grotesque, beautiful font. I agree, Simone.
Ooh.
And there's a Neopets Master. I know, Val. I still remember the cat that I like. I think it's called like a Aisha or something.
Oh my gosh,
they were like the most popular. I gotta Google that real quick.
Oh my gosh.
Aisha.
Is Neopets still around?
I don't know.
Gosh, if it is, I'm so happy.
That's quite a callback. Oh my goodness. And remember you could put outfits on them?
Oh my god.
I know.
Oh my god.
Yes, I'm just looking at some Neopets right now. I like the blue one. All right.
The brighter the color, the better the cut.
Yep, so Neopets. Gotta love them.
Neopets, gotta love them. And the Soup Kitchen, oh my god. I'll go there all the time.
It's amazing. All right, so we're in the middle of a flow for looking at profiles of both the brand persona and the influencer persona, yes?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
But now we are focusing
FF Din and Mole, very beautiful font. Agreed.
Which one?
FF Din Pro.
Oh.
Yep. All right, and in about a couple minutes, we'll give it 1 or 2 more minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe we could take a quick pause and look at what the logos are that people have made for this new app called Fluencia.
Fluencia. I'm so excited, you guys. Like, I'm just ready to find this logo. I'm stoked for everyone's
It's gonna make the identity of this app as we really start to add that kind of brand style to it over time, right?
It's gonna like make this app for sure. So I wonder whose logo is going to be chosen.
Well, that would be up to you. Right?
Oh gosh. Yesterday's competition, I was like all nervous, and now picking a logo? What are you guys doing to me? Okay.
Well.
So I guess I can explain what I'm currently doing.
Okay.
So this is when a brand is trying to make a campaign.
Okay.
So they would probably click this plus button if they're trying to post like a campaign, and they'll upload a photo of like what they want, and then kind of like define what the campaign's about. So it's like fall season. We want fall colors, whatever, and add guidelines. So this will be where it's like these check marks.
So you'll be able to edit what you see as the guidelines for this campaign.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And then they'll add one here, and then in order to add another one, there'll be a plus button.
And Kathleen's in the house. Hey, Kathleen. Also a wonderful host of ours. Anmal remembers hashtag Ruthless Kevin, and I think we'll just call you Ruthless Kevin during the challenge review today.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
If you weren't here yesterday for that, at some point Kevin was just like, no, chopped. So
you guys, I was literally sweating, so I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so.
Yeah, I know. Run. No, just kidding. Run the other direction. Come towards us. Submit a challenge so that way you can see if you survive Ruthless Kevin's art direction here.
I promise, like, I'm so nice and not crazy. But.
Yep. All right.
Cool.
So let me give it one more quick second and see what we've got. And in about 1 minute, we'll take a look. Ooh, we've got quite a bit of good logos here.
Oh my gosh. I'm like getting a sneak peek, but I don't want to look yet.
Yeah, don't look. Don't look at my screen.
Okay,
it's fine. It's fine. Yep. All right, last chance. Get them in. Get them in.
Get your logos in, you guys. Can't wait to see them.
Yep. And look at that subtle drop shadow. Not that I'm bringing the drop shadow conversation back in, but I am, really.
Oh my gosh.
You know?
I mean...
It started in yesterday's day 1 at 9. I mean, Paul kind of put it down there and said...
Oh, yeah.
If your drop shadow is sucky, then if it's bad, then we're gonna judge you by it and say that you're not a great designer, right?
For sure. Totally, yeah. No, like, you know what? I think drop shadow is so, like, convenient and, like, it's needed, so...
Well, you're using
oh
them on
gosh,
here,
are we gonna have another
5 o'clock drop shadow? Agreed. Alejandra.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So much throwdown on the drop shadow.
On the drop shadow.
All right. Okay. I think that's it for submissions. If you don't hand them in, I'm just gonna go ahead and pop them open on my screen for a second, giving it a final refresh. And Kevin, if you don't mind, we can take a look at what I've got. All right. Cool. So here we go. So the first one, Fluencia, right there.
Ooh.
Yep. It's got that lovely cursive kind of feel. Very whimsical. Love it.
I like that one a lot.
Yep.
I like the color too.
The F, just the F on its own.
Ooh, okay.
Yep. All right. And then we've got it in a circle. Very cool. And then we also have, different colors. Fluencia. Oh, I like that little kind of shout out sort of call. That's very, very fun.
Reminds me of like Spotify.
Oh yeah, a little bit. Because that green. The green and then the sort of the waves.
The A is kind of like, I thought that was like a search icon, but.
Oh, subliminal messaging.
Ooh.
All right, and then what we have here
company.
Is, very psychedelic.
Ooh.
It's like deep thinking there.
That's awesome.
Very cool. Beautiful colors. I like the colors. Very vibrant.
They
go with the socks. They go with the socks.
They really do.
For the socks.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh, that's cute.
Hearts.
I like that.
Love it.
Love.
Yes, I agree. 100 beautiful logos indeed.
Ooh.
Very cute.
That's so cute.
And then what we have here is, oh wow, that is very, very deep and interesting. So that's like an F.
Like a plug.
Plugging in. It's like inputting in. It's very deep. You could probably stare at this one for a long time and get a lot of messages out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. That's cool. Oh, that's so cute.
Oh, this is so sweet. It's like
with a star.
And there's an infinity sign. Yes. There's like a lot of depth in these logos, guys. This is amazing.
Wow, you guys did so good.
Love the plug one. Agreed. All right, cool.
Oh, nice.
Shout out. Especially speaks towards the persona that you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Good, vibrant colors. And then just simplicity.
Just let's keep growing, you guys.
Keep growing.
Keep growing.
All right.
Cool.
So just looking at those again. So we've got, and there's one more. One more. All right.
Oh, nice.
Very cool. Connections.
Very cool.
Connections.
Connecting.
So kind of going back to the start, which one we got? I'll just go through them really quickly.
Yeah.
And when one pops out at you, Kevin, that person is going to win a beautiful set of responsive XD socks.
Ooh, that's so cute. Oh my god, you guys did amazing.
I
This
know.
is so good. This is so hard.
All right, which one's it gonna be?
Oh, I have to choose the first one with that cursive F. It's so
Beautiful.
cute. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So winner of that is, I'm not really sure, but whoever put
Oh,
that
who was
in,
that one?
you are now the owner of these lovely pink socks. Congratulations. We are
Woo!
going to definitely take that. If you can send us maybe if it's just a PNG that works, or if it's maybe even an SPG, that would be great. And then we'll be able to pop that into Kevin's app for today and tomorrow.
I'm so excited for that.
Congratulations.
Good
Woo!
job. Woo!
You get these awesome cozy socks.
So we don't know who did it?
It was a
Anel.
Anel Henning.
Congratulations,
Anel Henning,
Anel.
congratulations.
We're
All
business
right,
partners
woo!
basically now. So
Awesome. Thank you, Anel. Congratulations.
I love it.
All right.
Thank you everyone for submitting their logo. Everyone's was so good.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, so now this is basically finished too. It's just showing what they're gonna add or not gonna add.
Okay.
And this, we'll just say save.
Yep.
And yeah, so this is basically a brand looking at their own profile.
Okay.
They can edit, they can add a campaign, they can change some settings, they can delete a campaign, edit it if they want to edit it, or add one. This is what would pop up right here. They can add an about, photos, and guidelines for do's and don'ts, and save it.
Okay.
And for an influencer profile, this is the influencer looking at their own profile. So what's going to happen is they're not going to like themselves and they're not going to have a chat box to like talk to themselves.
Okay.
So they're just going to have like a settings.
A settings to
thing.
change kind of what's going on there. Yep.
Yeah. Paste that.
And that, you know, if you paste any other artboard into an element with from one artboard to the next, then it will retain just exactly where on the location of that artboard that first element was. So if you put it in a specific position on one artboard, you know, top right side, and you just copy paste that over to a new one, it will remember where it is and put it in the same location.
Yep.
So
And
good consistency there.
thank you. So yeah, you guys, we finished both perspectives on profiles. And now we can start working on the messaging and collab system.
Cool. Can we see it? Can we see it bigger in the view? Just want to see it like in its full glory. I know these guys have been following along, but you know it's scrollable. Yep, very cool. And so there's a static bottom navigation. Yep, and then here we go. I love how like the top just looks. Is like rich with that photography, really kind of gives that mood already.
Yes,
very nice.
Yeah, and it's all about, you know, posts, so it's like.
I agree, Thor. It looks great.
Thank you, Thor.
Thank you. Cool.
Nice, nice.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
And there we go. Cool. So now we're doing the message collab feature.
Okay.
So kind of taking this from Jessica's episode, she would label each section to make it more organized.
Yeah, I mean, you start to have 5 million artboards after a while. It's nice to show the separation of those artboards, right? I agree, Laura. It is looking great. And this is day 2 of day 3, Thor, for our segment. So one more day, and we'll be stitching a lot of it and bringing it to life.
Oh my god.
Yep, Kevin has an iPhone, so we'll probably show a little bit of what it looks like to preview it using the native app on your phone as well, which is a great way of being able to kind of get that feel in the real environment. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Raquel. All saying that you're talented. I 100% agree.
Oh, thank you guys.
Cool.
That's awesome. Okay, so I am doing the messaging system. So this is B2I, brand to influencer. So they would look at an influencer's profile and they're like, okay, I like Xena, I'm gonna message her. So they will click that button.
Okay.
It'll take them here and it's just a very simple new message. Have a back, because you always want them to have an option to go back. Otherwise they're stuck there and have to like probably restart the app. So instead of an X, we'll do that to go back to her profile.
Okay.
And then and the best part of this is once you have like one thing done, you can just copy and paste it, and it's so much quicker. Like, you know that some features are gonna look the same, so I just took that, pasted that there, new message. Instead of enter a name here, it's like to Zina Dichoso.
And this was from the wire that you were working on yesterday, right?
Yeah, you just simply grab elements from past wireframes and just paste it, and then just change some properties about it.
And that's a really great workflow, Kevin. I think, you know, you can start in wireframe, make a million artboards in the file, and then in the very same XD file, knowing you're going to reuse those elements and just want to copy paste them from one artboard to another.
Saves so much time.
You could just do it in the same file. I mean, it's there's some crazy. I challenge you guys to throw a bunch of artboards in one of those files and see how much you can really use that app without any performance issues. It handles a lot very, very well. So
yeah, it helps just get things done faster.
And everyone still has around 14 minutes left for the daily submission. Just as a reminder, you know, we've got today the theme of time travel on a smartphone. I'm sorry, not a smartphone, a smartwatch. So a watch device. And in case you want to give it a try, you can definitely go into the schedule area and find the link to the actual icon set below. It was made by Creative Mints. It's a great one. Download it, use it in the actual prototype. You need to make 3 screens, so 3 interactions of your choice. I highly suggest you use the new features that came out, one of which in the past month was overlays. Very fancy feature. Actually, maybe I should just show that real quick while you're working on that.
Yeah.
I can go ahead and do that. So let's see. Where am I? What is this file? Okay, so earlier today I was showing a little bit about how you can use different types of grids, right? So if you're using a square grid, you can actually go ahead and change the colors. Not that we'd ever want to do that, but you know, you can change the colors of the grids and do stuff. But in general, in XD, you can actually go ahead, and XD comes with, in the artboards, a couple more templates like Apple Watch, and here you can go ahead and make this watch. It's got already columns in it, and I'm gonna just copy C, copy V, and you get some artboards straight in a row, and you can go ahead and make your interactions. And so, you know, typically we know that watches, especially the Apple Watch, typically has a dark face layout, a black one, right? And so let's go ahead and select all 3 artboards, and from there we'll go ahead and make it a darker color. So something in general you guys should know about artboards is that you don't actually have to live in one artboard here and then copy paste manually to different artboards. In other words, let's say I make this beautiful square here, or rectangle. Well, I guess all rectangles are squares. If you make this beautiful square here or rectangle here, and you go ahead and you paste it, you might say, okay, I need to paste it here. Let me go here, and then let me paste it here and go here. But in actuality, in XD, you can go ahead and just as long as you select the other 2 artboards that you want to, I like to select the titles. That's the easiest way I think of kind of picking those guys up. You can just hit Command B, and it'll just apply whatever you're trying to change to multiple artboards at one time. This is really helpful in Kevin's mock because, you know, you may have what he has in his, which is that bottom sticky navigation, if you will. And so instead of making one, like a common workflow is you would have maybe a menu at the bottom going here, and then it has some things in there, and then maybe you want to make it a symbol, which is Command K, right? And then after that, when you go into the symbol, you might have, you know, like what Kevin did in his wireframes yesterday, little kind of placeholders of what it is that you're doing. And by the way, holding down Shift to be able to get them locked in crisply on those X and Y axes. And so from there, you can just take this symbol and then select both artboards and paste, and you have that navigation that you want. And say, for example, that you want to now do an overlay on one of those. This is a brand new kind of feature that I really love. And yes, Shay, I agree. I've been manually pasting like the same one artboard to another artboard to another artboard over and over and over again. And so that's definitely something I love. But you can go to the artboard and you say that you want to have an interaction here, and maybe what happens is this guy, you click on it here and you have, I don't know, a new box, a new fancy box appear. This fancy box will be pink because we like pink. Actually, I like blue better, so blue. And then from here, oops, sorry about that. So you're going to go ahead and I got lost. There we go. So you have this menu here, and what you want to do is just kind of, I'm going to delete these for a second, and not have a fill. So you can actually go ahead and you have this artboard right here, and you want to say on clicking this specific guy right here, this will just kind of pop in, right? So first off, pro tip, I like to also think about hit areas, so especially with touch targets like a phone. And so for the hit area, I'm going to go ahead and add another square on top, make the border 0, and actually make the alpha 0. So it's there, right? If I hit Command Y and I look at the actual layers there, this is my hit target, right? And I'm making it all caps and screaming. So when I have that hit area, I can go to prototype. And now that bigger kind of touch target is there, and I can go ahead and hook it in to my next artboard. Now, overlays. So before, when you transitioned a interaction from one artboard to the other, you only had the option to kind of pan from one to the other. For example, you had this, you clicked on here, and then you had that, right? Super simple. And that works for some of it, except for the fact that you may have a reusable element that you want to make. Traditionally, what you would have done is you would have just gone in and you would have made one of these guys, you would have put him in here, and then from there you would have this duplicated sort of menu and all these reusable components that are not necessary, right? You duplicate basically an entire page of elements on top of that. But now what you can do is, instead of having to go and do this and then plug those two together, if you go to prototype mode, and you go ahead and click that hit state, you can actually toggle to overlay. And what that does is it gives you a bright green sort of interaction state. And what that means is that when you look at what this is doing, this whole area, this whole box with the X, shows you the bounding box of that element. In my case, I'm making an artboard that's exactly the same size as the previous one. And so that green element indicates that when I click on that, and I'm going to do a transition of a slide left, okay? And I hit Command Enter to see the preview, it will slide it in like that. So it doesn't seem like a crazy thing, except for the fact that this is actually the cool part. So if instead of making an artboard that's exactly this guy right here, I'm going to actually go ahead and slim it down to this size, and I'm going to go ahead and I made the fill empty, but I'm going to just make it a fill of that color. I don't remember what color it was. I'm going to make it blue.
Ooh, that's a
bright
cool
blue. It's like a Colbat blue. You can still take different size artboards, and this is now your official menu, and you can see it still saves that interaction, but that actual interaction shows that I can move this purple guy anywhere I want. So he's left, he's right. I can decide if it's a modal, for example, if I want to position him center. And then the same interaction happens, right? So as I'm in the prototype and I'm looking at this and I say, okay, I think it looks good right here. Now when I go through the prototype and I click on this, it will do the same menu, but now you have like a unique artboard that comes in, and you can do things like menus and overlays. It's just a great reusable sort of experience. And so there you have it, a quick overview on overlays.
Yeah, I would used to do the transition dissolve, and it wasn't the same thing.
Yeah.
And like the fact that they added that is such a really good feature.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, when you made it before and you had like a whole page transitioning to another page, when you did something like slide left, you actually saw the page transforming over like that, and it didn't make that effect as genuine, you know, as it would if you actually clicked on the element and then just a smaller piece of that artboard came over. Wow. So it's a really fun and powerful element for XD.
That's awesome. Yeah, so going back to me, I finished the messaging and collaboration system. So when a business wants to collaborate with an influencer, they would send her a message, and again, one of the pain points for the influencer was the back and forth, like emailing, doing a bunch of these contracts. So she's like, why can't the contract system be part of it? So I included an attachment feature where everything can just be done on one app. No more like a bunch of emails, just sign the PDF contract and send it back to them. And then that's when they want to do a new message. And then to see all messages, they would see like everything, and there's like a search option here with their icon, And if you want to do a new message, you would click right here with this pencil icon.
All right.
Yeah, and it's going to be the same thing for an influencer to a brand. So like Sips By, Zena wants to work with Sips By, and then messages, a bunch of that. And once I finished that, I was starting to work on the fave feature. So this is when a business or influencer is trying to favorite a certain brand or influencer.
Yep, because there's a lot of them out there, right? And
Yes.
kind of gets a little overwhelming over time, I think.
Yeah, it gets like super overwhelming. They just want to like narrow it down to the best ones that they like, and this feature can really help that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So we're back in wireframing, right? Making some of these specifics. Very fun. Okay. And for those of you guys who are still doing the challenge, there's about 4.5 minutes remaining. So get those submissions in. So winner of the submission today will get a free 1-year subscription to Creative Cloud. So
That's
send them
awesome.
along. And Kevin, I got the SVG of the logo. So at some point, I'm going to send that over to you.
Yeah. That would be amazing, because maybe tomorrow we can like see how it all looks like.
Yeah, for
That'd be
sure.
Awesome. So okay, for faves, I'm basically doing this. Oops. Grabbing this. Pasting the name of the person that they like. So let's say the brand likes Zena
Yep.
Dichosa.
Okay.
And she's from San Diego, California. Oh, San Diego, California. And we need to show that even though it's under the favorite feature, that she was favorited. So let's look back at this star icon.
Thank you, Joyce. You are awesome too.
Aw. Everyone's so nice.
I
and
know.
I love
And Mark, I agree. Overlay in the it's very, very awesome. Overlay is an amazing feature. Give it a try. I'm telling you, it's life changing. You no longer have to basically have gigantic files of like a menu state. It's amazing.
Let's see.
All right, so it's
Cool.
been favorited. Yep.
Favorited, and then also showcasing the photos that they kind of post on their Instagram. Just to, again, remind either the brand or the influencer.
Okay, so Dina stuff.
Yeah.
Got it. Oh, look at that. After repeat grid creation, editing of things in the repeat grid. I love it.
Keep everything in the repeat grid. Cool. And once you finish this, you just group them together like I always do.
Nice little teaser for people who are looking at the influencers that they like.
Yes.
Oh, and then
Doing
a
this all
magical
over again.
larger repeat grid. It's like repeat grid within a repeat
Repeat
grid. It's
grid.
Inception repeat grid.
Yep. And that's basically the fave feature. And this thing with the influencer to brands, favoriting the brands, it's like the same thing. It's
Okay.
just changing the name.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I love how consistent the experiences are, right? Like you don't have these radically different experiences. Maybe you're even an influencer in a brand company, right? Like that'd be crazy.
whoa.
So that's really, really
we're
awesome.
gonna go that route.
We're not only talking inception of repeat grids, but we're talking inception of personas.
Exactly.
Personas within personas within personas.
Whew. Did you guys get that all in right now?
Chills.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so basically that's everything. So if we're going to like overview all the low fidelity wireframes,
Yep.
and I promise tomorrow we're gonna make everything colorful and perfect. So
Colorful and perfect.
with the images, yeah, we're gonna go town with that, and we're gonna prototype and everything. So basically the app is finished for the lo-fi.
Okay.
And if you can see a zoomed out feature, everything's super organized. Every feature is in its own section, and it's labeled to business to influencer perspective to influencer to brand perspective.
Okay.
Not business, it's brand. So when we are prototyping everything, it's easy because you don't want to zoom all the way out and then like wanting to connect something here, you can just, since we labeled every wireframe,
Yep.
Like if you want to connect it like this or something, we can just pick like.
Look at how most beautifully named file I've seen. Like, wow, you are an inspiration to us organized folks.
Thank you.
You are very much.
So business to influencer,
Okay.
Influencer brand profile.
Yep.
So like, it's just that easy. And yeah, basically that's basically everything that's done.
Awesome. And I think that timing for submission deadlines is over. So we'll definitely be reviewing those very shortly.
Yeah, cool.
Cool. Any questions in the chat around kind of the stuff that we've been working on today? I mean, thank you, Kevin, for all of this. This is a lot, right? We not only did an app for one flow experience, but we're doing it for 2 different personalities here.
Yeah.
So
it's been a lot, but I'm glad that like I can show you the whole process from research to lo-fi wireframing to hi-fi wireframing tomorrow. So.
And yes, Raquel, I would also like to grow up to be like Kevin, where I file name and save in that way. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
We'll all aspire for that level. Yes, Kevin-san. Onegaishimasu. Yes. Awesome. Okay, cool.
Cool, yeah.
Well, let me go ahead and start taking a look at those submissions in the meantime.
Sweet.
I don't know, do you want to show some of the stitchings or kind of talk about anything else?
Yeah, I mean, we can like, I guess prototype a little bit more.
Okay,
to
yeah.
show, like,
I think some people in the chat want to just get a little bit of an intro to how you actually make, you know, hookups and interactions of objects to other artboards, and then I'll actually get those submissions ready for us to review.
Cool, yeah. So basically, if everything's next to each other like this, like how I grouped everything, I would just do it like that, just to, because it's easier. But if I'm trying to connect this circle to her profile, I'm not going to obviously like drag it all the way. That's like unnecessary. I can just click it and then choose I2B brand user profile, and then just do that with every single one. Does that actually connect with every, since it's in a repeat grid?
So,
do that?
Good question. So if you are making the one, then, and you do it solo, it will, on an interaction level, it will actually only have the one, because the repeat grid is really around copying those elements over.
Oh, okay.
That being said, really easy opportunity actually here is if you click on, so go ahead and click on that first one that you made that interaction for. So
This
that one, yep.
Yeah.
Right click on it and copy it. So for those of you who don't know, and we'll do a lot more interaction and prototyping tomorrow as well, you can paste interactions. So what that does is that means that it understands what the interaction is, where it's going to go, so what artboard it's being targeted to. And so go ahead and go to the one below now, or maybe one after that, just to kind of show, yep, that one. And then double click on that and paste it. So right click, not literally paste it, although that does that too, but right click on the object and then paste the interaction, yep. And what that does is that it actually does the same interaction.
And the shortcut for that would be Option Command V. Wow.
And then you kind of did it accidentally, but the other thing is that you can actually paste that same element with that interaction in the repeat grid after the fact. So your question was like, can you do it and then will it apply upon doing on one symbol? The answer is no, but if you were to do it after the fact and make and paste an interaction in there, it will map it to that interaction.
Yeah, wow. So like for this one example, I would copy this, and then if I want it to be the same thing, I would just do Option Command, what was it? Option Command V. Option Command V. Oh wow, it just plugs everything together.
Yep.
Cool.
Totally.
Whoa, I love that.
All right,
Cool.
So let's see. Just kind of seeing. So I think that we have all of our submissions. So let me just kind of do a couple quick things here.
Is that all?
No.
Okay, I'm like, what?
I think we have 3 submissions today.
Ooh, okay.
So let's take a look at them, and we'll go through, give a little bit of a critique.
Nice.
Your Ruthless Kevin is about to come out. Hashtag Ruthless Kevin. He is going to chop your prototype today, but out of love. And let's take a look. So our first one is here.
Ooh, I like the multiple colors.
Okay.
That drop shadow, I see you.
Mm-hmm. All right, so tap to get started. So we're gonna tap here.
Nice.
All right. Oh, look at that. Oh, those are such beautiful icons.
Oh my god.
So you're scrolling down. I love some of that fixed interaction experience where you have that fixed element. Beautiful.
And how like they disappear underneath it.
So your travels, explore, sales, achievements. Very nice.
Nice.
And then let's see. So I'm gonna. Which one should we click on?
Select your destination.
Select your destination. Okay, and so where are we at? So so use your current location. I like that usability, right?
Yep.
Make it easy. I mean, it's a little tiny, it's on your phone and it's on your hand, I mean, and so being able to type that's probably very annoying, or speak that I guess would be okay.
Yeah.
And so Luxembourg, and then,
the whole like swiping. Ooh, I like that.
Very nice, I like it. Feels very, like you basically swipe left, right?
Nice.
Beautiful, and then, going back to that, so that's how that works. And then let me just hit back button here, back button there. All right, cool. Oops, I just went there. Let's try explore. Wow, this is a multiple page app right here, which is really awesome. So current
photos,
popular destination. I know Luxembourg is the one that works. Oh, Berlin also works too.
Let's go to Berlin.
So the date. Okay, cool. All right, and then what happens when we hit start travel?
Whoa, where did we go?
Please choose another location or year. Life-threatening danger. So we shouldn't be going to Berlin at this stamp. Is not a good idea. I love it. Oh, I see. 1942.
Oh wait.
Awesome.
We're not gonna go there.
That is clever.
Yeah.
One awesome thing, Luxembourg. All right. Oh, and please pay attention. I almost hear them saying it. Please pay attention. Oh, and then we hit go.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Amazing.
Good
amazing
job.
That was so beautiful, clever. All right.
So cool.
And so here's our next one, travel in time.
Nice. I like the
man.
Vintage look.
Feels very
neon.
Very Tron.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Or Space Invaders or some throwback. Name your retro game here. I love it. It feels very fun. All right. So
color.
all of these are interactive. Okay, let's take a look. So acceleration.
Ooh. Oh, like the speed that you go.
That is so fun.
Cool.
Can you imagine looking at that and being like, yeah, I'm going 88 miles per hour. It was really cool.
Jeez.
And then let's see, gigawatts. Wow.
Huh.
Whoa. Intake. This is awesome. And then let's see. Let's try lift off here. And so you lift off, and there is a gauge acceleration there, 75%. Is that battery life or no? 75% time to lift off.
Is lift off is when you go, right?
I don't know. Yeah. Yep. So
could you imagine if our chairs just push this up or something?
Oh my gosh.
Where'd they go?
Departure time. Wow.
Oh, cool.
I love the colors in this one. I mean, it's just you don't see this kind of palette that often anymore, really.
I really like this.
Very cool.
And it fits the theme of it.
Mm-hmm. And then let's see, is there anything else? Just gonna go back to the start. Departure times. So we have departure times, yep. And then we have the destination. So
holy cow.
Where you're trying to go. You have the liftoff. Cool. Okay, so I see. So these icons are always available. If you're looking at a specific screen, it's easy to just kind of walk back to whatever it is. Yeah, Eric, very alien. Very awesome though.
So alien, yeah.
All right.
Nice, good job.
And so then we have...
Oh, wow, very minimal.
Yep.
And minimalistic.
So it's 9 p.m. here, and you're going to go and travel. All right, so you click on travel. All right.
Welcome.
Welcome. Where in the world would you like to go today? So we're going to select the time. You can do destination. Nice, cool blue. Oh, you get to pick picking the year. Man, time travel. That is an awesome theme.
Yeah, where would everyone go if you could time travel? You could
not Berlin in 1942, apparently.
No.
All right, very cool. I love that. Is some slick interaction.
Nice.
Actually, let's see that one more time. So you're going down here, and you have a fixed
I love that.
background, and you have. That is a very cool and complex interaction that's been done here. Kudos to you. Very well done. And then you go there, and you're done, and back. All right, is that everything on this one? And I think it is. All right, cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Judging this would be really hard, Shay. I agree, which is why we have hashtag Ruthless Kevin here to make that sacrifice for us. So let's take a look. So the first one was this beautiful, colorful interaction. Great content, great thinking, very clever.
Yes. So much thought into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, like.
Oh, it's never gonna get old. I love it. Okay, cool. And then we have the second one here.
Yes.
Which, oh man, the theme is so retro and so fun.
It fits, like,
it's almost ironic in a cool way, right? Because you would think time travel, it's a future technology.
Yeah.
But this is more like a throwback feel almost, or maybe it's like a message that we're all gonna go full circle in there. Very cool. Yeah.
I mean, vintage is coming back, so
That's
nice.
Super cool. All right, and then the last one is this one, which very simplistic but beautiful. Selecting the time, amazing micro interactions, absolutely awesome.
Wow.
What do you guys think in chat?
Gosh, you guys, yeah, please help me out.
You can help Kevin as he starts to cut these.
I can't be so ruthless right now. This is like.
Yep.
If vintage is coming back, is it still vintage?
That is a very deep question.
Oh, you're right.
If vintage is coming back, is it still vintage?
You're really making us think here.
I mean.
Wow, people should. What?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Retro vintage. Tim has made a new term. First one, everybody likes the first one?
First one.
Second one, Jeff says second. I don't know, Kevin, which one are you leaning towards? Do you want to see any of these again?
So, I mean, I have a comment for each one.
Okay, let's go from the start.
So, this one has amazing, amazing, amazing content. The fact that they put these comments, especially like for either Berlin or Luxembourg, like they really put a lot of thought with content-wise. The second one, again, I think it's super ironic that it's like a vintage theme and we're going back in time, but it's a futuristic feature.
Agreed.
And I love how the colors and design-wise, like that, like that's amazing.
It's so fun.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
The third one, I love how they're using these new features and stuff, like these interacting, and it's very minimal.
It's a great showcase.
And actually, like, in the future, it might even look like that, like super minimal, plain, like, beautiful. But if I had to choose one, I would probably go and choose the vintage one, which is the second one.
This one?
Yes, just the whole design aspect and like the thought of every detail is amazing. So.
Awesome. Well, so congratulations. Travel in time.
Yeah.
Who? Ryan Nelson.
Congratulations.
Woo! The new vintage. That should be the secondary name of the app.
The new vintage is coming back. The vintage
cool. Yes. Yeah. And agreed, B, George. They are all amazing looking and a lot of great work being put into that. Congratulations, Ryan. You are now the new owner of 1 Year Creative Cloud.
That's awesome.
So congratulations. Beautiful stuff.
You did so good. Everyone did amazing. And hopefully it wasn't too mean this time.
I don't think so. I mean,
ruthless.
You know, someone's got to do it, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Good job.
Cool. So we have a little bit of time left over still. So I don't know if we want to jump in and keep stitching stuff together, or we can show some more features, or what do you guys want to see?
Yeah, what do you guys want to see? Do you want me to go more into prototyping, or do you want to see new features that Jessica can show?
And congratulations, Ryan. Thank you guys for congratulating him. It is awesome. That was some beautiful work there. Well, why don't, in the meantime, let's go through and kind of see where things are at. So why don't we just kind of recap everything we've done for the past hour and a half. And yes, Raphael, you can absolutely ask Kevin a question. So where did we start today and where are we now?
Okay, so today we basically made all the low fidelity wireframes that this app is going to feature. We did the Discover page, user profiles, message system, the sign in, sign up onboarding pages, and the fave feature, and the profile. So basically we have all the structure and layout finished, and now tomorrow we're gonna insert all the pretty stuff. So the colors, the photos, the imagery, the logo name. So we're going to do all that tomorrow, make it beautiful, and actually connect everything together so it's functional to prototype. And after we prototype and connect everything, we'll use the Adobe XD app and actually see it being used live. So yeah, that's for tomorrow.
Okay, cool. And
yeah.
Raphael has a question. Noticed that he must have seen yesterday's show because he's asking about the competitor analysis that you did. And his question is the main point of that to get design inspiration or what?
Yeah, so for the competitive analysis, that was basically to showcase some of the weaknesses and the strengths that each app had that's similar to what we're making, and what we can do to improve those weaknesses and maybe grab some strengths from what they do and kind of like put it all together.
Awesome. And Laura makes a good point, which is to see what those pros and cons are around what competitors are doing. It's a good way to also get some inspiration.
Yes.
It's a good way to see where the gaps are and to be able to find opportunities to really innovate and make some creative stuff in that area.
Yeah.
And Humpo asks, does XD work offline? Yes, it does. I mean, a lot of those cloud features, like if you wanted to sync or publish these things, you need to be online for that, but you can certainly open it up. I've been on a plane, multiple times working on my XD files and saving them. And then of course, afterwards, you can just upload all those things, publish, everything have you. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Actually, want to take a look at some of that published right now?
Yeah,
Since
let's
we
do
have a
it.
few minutes left. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So a couple things in XD that's new. One of the things is design specs. So we talked about that a little bit today and a little bit yesterday. So everybody knows about publish prototype, right? That one you've been seeing. You can publish a prototype and it creates a link, whether a private link, which is a beta feature available now, or you can actually go ahead and create a public link that you can password protect, which is awesome.
Yes.
And you can send that link out and then people can log in and look at your prototype. That's how we've been seeing everyone's amazing travel challenge submissions. In addition to that, though, you may work with developers who you're handing off files to. And instead of sitting in the room and talking them through every single feature or speccing it out where you're saying this pixel is, 300 here with this hex color, and you're like copy pasting that content, you can actually publish design specs. So let's go ahead and hit that. Yep.
Yeah. So you click this, public design specs.
Exactly. You can even put a password if you want.
Ooh,
so
yeah.
it has some string requirements, but make one up.
That's
wait,
cool.
if you just randomly type it, we're not going to log in.
Oh.
And then go ahead and create a public link.
Yeah.
And it's currently trying to, you're currently offline. Oh, it's because you're actually offline. Great question though, which is that, if you're offline, you need to wait till you're online for that.
Yeah.
I can go ahead and actually show it on mine real quick.
Yeah.
So let's just say for a second that I'm using this fabulous kit right here, and which I love. Also available, you can ask for a link. If you hit publish design specs, this might take a little while because it's a very big link. But what this will do is it'll generate a online sort of place to kind of dig in and see those details. And so going ahead, ta-da. And so I'm gonna go ahead and open that in the new window here. And you can see in here all of the artboards that were made as well as the interactions. And so this prototype actually has a lot of interactions baked in where if you click on something, it shows you where it'll go to, right? So this is actually really awesome. And there's some great help features below to guide you in using it. And when you go into here, you can actually go ahead and see on the right side all the screen details. So viewport size, design size, those colors. You can copy a hex code, and it goes to your clipboard, which is really convenient for developers. Typography stacks. If you see me hovering over elements, you'll notice, like very subtly, that there are outlines that show you which of those things are using that color. So if you're using global assets, it remembers that and shows it, which is really, really nice for the developers who are trying to understand like what's intentional, what maybe is a mistake, what is what's going to be the whole design system there. And we mentioned that there's also interactions, and so you can actually see here the target states even. So you can go ahead and you'll notice that if you clicked on gallery, the intent is to go to the gallery page, and then I clicked on gallery, and there it is. I mean, obviously I don't have the fonts here, but you can take a look. And you can click around to these elements and then get the details that you want. And so super convenient, really awesome, and a really, really, really great way of file sharing.
With developers, yeah.
Last thing real quick is Marielle asks, any advice for working with developers during the Q&A stage of an app? I'm new to UI UX and would love to hear your thoughts for keeping the peace and staying positive when it's time to critique. That's a really great question. Marielle, what do you think, Kevin?
I just feel like just to have an open communication at all times. Like, keep them up to date. Ask them before you even start on the design. Like, is this even possible? Like, can we do this? And just having that open discussion with your whole team, and that would probably make everyone's life easier. And I don't think they would be annoyed by it or anything. It's just like approving if they're even capable of doing it or not.
I agree. I mean, I think that's really good. Eric says just cry inside. I think that's funny, but another thing around that is like the great thing about being able to access the ability to share things like design specs is, you know, you need to have a healthy relationship with your QA team, with your development team. So early and often is a great phrase to use in the design biz. You know, if you're able to kind of give them work in progresses, I think sometimes designers are maybe a little concerned that they'll send something and then it'll be taken and then it'll kind of unravel in a way that they didn't want to. But, you know, I would ignore Shay and not be passive aggressive.
And I was just reading that.
But I would definitely say that you do want to share early and often. And a lot of times what that does is it fosters not only camaraderie, but it also allows you to really kind of have an open conversation. You know, they may catch things, especially because they're QA, that you didn't even catch, and it's really awesome. And so showing them this, like showing them design specs, showing them the work, and then, you know, doing that earlier gets to the point where you're finally at that important meeting that everyone is on the same page, they understand, and we're all able to kind of come to a conclusion without any of that aggro. So, so very cool. All right, well, I think that pretty much concludes it. Thank you, Kevin, so much for everything that you've been doing here. I mean, 2 personas, 2 flows, really awesome. You've been doing a little bit of visual design in the work. Tomorrow the plans are to actually put some paint on this whole thing, which is going to be really fun.
I know, I'm so excited for that.
I mean, the research was really awesome, and seeing the wireframe work was really great, but my favorite part, honestly, of these shows is seeing it go from this stage and just seeing how fast you can spin up like different iterations, styles, and really like think in the app. It's really fun. So
I know, I'm super stoked for tomorrow, and thank you. And thank you all of you guys for watching. Stay tuned for tomorrow when, you know, I put more color into this, you know?
Very cool. Awesome. And if you have any questions, just follow up. And we'll be happy to answer. So
cool.
All right. Bye.
Oh, bye.
Ladies and gentlemen,